but it's not bad to be known by. I think last race there was 18,000 spectators. It's nice to know that out of everyone there, I'm the one driving the car.
And you were signing autographs as well?
Yes, every race.
Nice. Welcome back to Bridging the Gap. So I can generally talk reasonably confidently about a lot of sports, but when it comes to motor racing, I must admit that I am somewhat of a fish out of water. So today, I am really looking forward to learning a lot, and the person who's here is the perfect person to teach me. So welcome, Kaiden, one of our grade 10 students here at Raho, who actually races in the Spanish Formula 4 Championship, which, as far as I understand, is the same or similar early career path to many of today's top F1 drivers. I'm sure you'll correct me if I'm wrong.
You
So
are right.
he's competed at world-class tracks like Valencia, Barcelona, several others across Spain. We'll find out shortly about the details with regards to those. Anyone who's met Kaiden does know that he does come across quite confident and self-assured, which, from what I've observed, seems to be a trait shared by many racing drivers for good reason. So with the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix just around the corner, the timing actually couldn't be better to dive into the world of motorsport for a little chat and get the perspective of someone actually living it firsthand. So welcome to Bridging the Gap.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so why don't we go back to where it all began when you were younger? I believe you were doing karting.
Yep.
So could you just give us a sort of paint a picture about where it all began and what initially drew you to the sport?
Well, I started my racing career in May of 2019 in karting, but before that, I'd always had aspirations to do some sort of driving because I'd always loved cars. There's never been a time in my life where I haven't loved cars. So it just once I realized that racing them really fast was something that I can do and I can do it as a profession, it just clicked that that's exactly what I want to do. And since then, that's exactly what I've wanted and have been doing.
And does this stem from family interest, your dad or
No,
anyone else?
no.
No?
Actually, I'm the first person in my household, in my family, really, to be properly interested in cars.
Okay.
No one else in my family drives a race car or ever has.
Okay, so you had some success in karting as a youngster.
Certainly.
Talk us through
Yep.
some of those.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not sure the age of the people who are watching this, but I think a lot of you guys would be doing karting, which is, if you were to get into motorsport, that's karting. That's exactly where you go. It's grassroots motorsport.
Yeah.
So it's where you learn how to drive. It's where you learn the balance of the car. So sometimes it's very counterintuitive, but if the car is rotating the wrong way, it's like if you're turning left, often you have to turn right. Just I think Lightning McQueen
Okay.
said it: turn left to go right.
Okay.
Oh no, Doc Hudson. But from cars, just connecting to the audience.
All right.
But yeah, there's a lot of things like that, and I did have my own successes, which was obviously really nice. Got quite lucky and very unlucky sometimes, but I think a lot of it is skill also.
All right. So you raced karting just in the UAE or elsewhere?
No, it was national, international, all sorts. I had managed. I think my best performance, I had ended up, I think, UAE national champion twice,
Wow.
which they were really good, just proper season performances. That was in 2024. So there's two championships in the UAE, and I won both of them, which was really nice in 2024. So
Nice.
that's probably my best year and my best performances on both. Then Middle East champion and seventh place internationally in 2024 as well.
Amazing. Okay, so are you 15 or 16 now?
I'm 15, 16 in April.
Okay, wow. So the jump from karting to what you're doing
cars,
now,
yeah.
Spanish F4, I mean, how big a step up is that, both technically and mentally? And also, at the same time, can you just educate me and listeners, viewers, about what exactly Spanish F4 is?
Right, I'll start off with the jump. It's definitely big. It's really nothing. Racing a car is nothing like driving a go-kart. Most people who end up progressing into cars, they say that karting's only there to learn how to drive. You can do 2 years of that and then jump into cars. But obviously some people prefer, like what I did, to stay in karts, make a name for yourself, so then it's easier to get into cars.
Okay.
But there's really no feeling in the world that's like driving a race car. especially in the last race, because it's a lot of sponsorship that's involved. So in my case, because I don't have the largest family backing, we don't know when it's my last race. So at the beginning of the season, we don't know if we make it to the middle. Middle, we don't know if we make it to the end. So every time you're in the car, you have to make the maximum out of it, but also you feel what it's really like to be in the car, and it's very difficult to explain. But it's like being on a roller coaster, but you make up your own track, you make up where you go, and all of the feelings that your body's moving around, and it's very, very nice.
Like if you had to describe your own personal driving style in 3 words.
Uh, that's difficult. I would say aggressive, smooth, and calm.
Okay.
I can be aggressive and calm at the same time, because if you're aggressive, then you're aggressive in terms of racing. So if there's a car in front, if you just sit behind them and don't make an overtake, you're losing. So you have to be aggressive in that. But if you're driving the car aggressively, then you're going to be slow, because if you're maybe turning the steering wheel too hard or braking too much, you're causing too much friction, which slows down the car. So you have to be calm and collected.
And that comes with
That
practice.
comes with a lot of practice.
Okay, so racing and testing and practicing,
Yes.
you've missed probably more school than most other
I've
sports
missed
stars.
19 days of school, which
interviewing.
isn't bad actually.
Isn't
19
bad.
days.
Fair enough. Okay, that's quite a lot in grade 10.
Yeah.
But you guys have really been good at juggling your flight times, etc., which is amazing. So, what sort of routines or systems have helped you stay organized when traveling? So trying to keep up with work.
Man, it's interesting. There's a lot of times where I'm working on the plane. If I'm not able to sleep, then you go work on the plane. There's a lot at the racetrack that there's obviously no time at the racetrack. We usually wake up at 7 a.m. have to be there by 8, driving at 9, and then we'll leave the track again at maybe 6 p.m., where you go back to the hotel room for about an hour, or you can go straight to dinner, depending on the country, depending what time they open. In Spain, they all open at 8 p.m., which is not very nice to open up at 8 at a restaurant, but sometimes you can get to, if you have a kitchenette in your room, you just go cook there. My father's a great cook. He comes. My mum's a good cook as well. Even I've learned how to cook. So
Okay.
it's really difficult to juggle school, but when you have time, that's what you got to do.
So what's the dynamic like when you travel? You mentioned your mum, your dad. Do they sort of tag team, or who travels with you most, or do you sometimes travel independently?
I have definitely traveled independently, but most of the time it's my mum, because my father's got a really strenuous job, so he's working all the time, and when he's not, sometimes he'll come down to the racing because he does like to watch a lot. He's the media person in terms of collecting videos and stuff, which I don't like to do. I'm very much there for racing rather than publicity. There's a lot of drivers who like that, but it's not bad to be known by. I think last race there was 18,000 spectators. It's nice to know that out of everyone there, I'm the one driving the car.
And you were signing autographs as well?
Yes, every race.
Nice.
It's nice.
Okay, so coming back down to earth a little bit.
Yep.
At school, of course, we have the skills framework in the IB. I have no doubt, looking at some of the affective skills. So, for example, mindfulness, perseverance, emotional management, self-motivation, resilience. These are all big tenets of the IB's effective skills framework, which no doubt can resonate with you in terms of motor racing. Could you talk us through how some of those, or how you process some of those skills?
So you're saying at the track or at home?
While you're in the car, let's say
while
you're
I'm
in the
driving.
car.
While
Yeah.
I'm driving, it's a lot actually to think, because I mean a lot of it's muscle memory as well. Like with the gear shifters, we're using it's a sequential transmission, which means I'm not using the clutch to in between gears, like from fourth to fifth or third to fourth. You don't use the clutch, but you have on the paddle shifts on the steering wheel.
Okay.
So that's all muscle memory. You hear the engine revs come to the right amount, maybe 6,000 RPM, you shift. And then your turning point, so where you'll turn on the entry of the corner, that's also muscle memory. Where you're braking is muscle memory.
Mm-hmm.
But every time we have usually 1 hour sessions and then 1 hour off track, or even 2 hours where other categories will have their 1 hour session. And that's when you can analyze data. There's, I think, like in Formula One, I know there's around 6,000 data points in the car. We don't have 6,000, but we've got around 400 to 500 data points, We don't look at them all, but we do look at the main four.
So when you say we, like
me, an engineer, and a driver coach. So the engineer isn't the guy who built the car. He's sort of a personalized coach for you. That's what an engineer is.
All right.
So we'll sit down for an hour. We'll look at the speed. So the speed, throttle, braking, and turning. They're the main ones that we look at. But if we need to look at maybe G-force for how the car, because the G-force works, it's not just on the driver. It's on everything that's moving.
Okay.
Which can affect components of the car as well. So
it's a physics lesson wrapped up
it's a physics
fun
lesson.
driving as well.
Yeah, it is quite fun. But in terms of you were speaking mindfulness and perseverance, it's you have to be really mindful in the car because obviously you are taking a risk every time you get into the car. It's much safer than before, but still a risk. So you have to make sure you don't do anything stupid, and you need to be smart when you're driving. Like in our 1 hour sessions we usually have an hour of debrief. So you'll drive for an hour, then go speak to your coach, speak to your engineer for another hour where you'll look at everything. And then if you don't implement it, like if you don't take what they're saying and use it, then it's useless. You just, at that point, shouldn't be trying to prove yourself.
Okay.
So especially someone like me who is always trying to do the best, if you don't use what's given to you, then you may as well not be given it at all.
Oh, there you go. So interestingly, when I asked you about affective, you dived straight into talking about some of the critical thinking skills, which sort of goes hand in hand with the driver's personality.
Yeah.
You're always just pushing, problem solving, reflecting, problem solving. So, and you also mentioned data. So, what about being a communicator?
Yeah, you need to speak to a lot of people.
And listen.
Yeah, you have to listen, speak. It's the IB itself has its IB learning profiles, which what I really like about the school is it can be implemented in your daily life everywhere.
Good.
So you learn them in the school, and then you can take them outside of the school. It's not just like a degree which you use to get jobs. You use this in your daily life. You don't show your certificates of like passing school every day, but you use your learning profiles every day, everywhere. That's what I really like about Raha.
Nice.
And yeah, you definitely use pretty much every single one at the racetrack.
Okay, so let's look at some of the practical side. So, well, firstly, mental and then practical. So, racing is incredibly mental. And how long is a race specifically?
A race is 30 minutes. 30 minutes plus one lap. So around 32 minutes.
Okay, and you generally race on the Saturday and the Sunday, or how
Saturday and Sunday. It'll be one qualifying, one race on Saturday, one qualifying, two races on Saturday.
Oh, so 3 races, 2 qualifying.
Okay. 3 races, 2 qualifying.
So it's quite a lot of like intense concentration, and in between, you're then reflecting and trying to relax.
Yeah.
What does your psychological preparation look like leading into a race week and knowing that you're going to have to do all this concentrating?
I think psychological preparation also goes hand in hand with physical, and emotional is psychological. So, like to get all of your schoolwork done beforehand so that you don't need to worry about it there.
Okay.
To make sure you're physically fit and ready, which a lot of people don't think about motorsports. But if you consider that you're the one driving the car with all the G-forces, I did a calculation about a month ago. So when we're braking, we can pull 1.8 Gs, which turns my body weight from 54 kg to 84 kg, which that's not nice. So everything that is affected by gravity, which is everything, is pushing you in one direction.
Wow. So carrying on the physical side, then you mentioned that you're part of a team, aren't you?
Yes.
So do you all sort of are they based? Where are they based?
They're based in Madrid. I'm actually wearing the team shirt here.
Right. So you're the only foreigner, or
there's a Russian man on our team, and then the other driver is Brazilian, but there's actually an Argentinian and a Lebanese. So actually, there's no Spanish drivers on this team.
Oh, okay.
But
not Spanish speakers, but not drivers.
No, they're all Spanish speakers. But
so you have a physical trainer that sort of communicates with all of you and tells you to do X, Y, and Z every day. Or how does it? What do you do during the day?
Myself, I work every second day. I'm going to the gym. Today is my gym day. We do about an hour and a half because I'm living here in the UAE. You don't go with your team, but some teams do have its own personal gym, which is really nice. I'm have that our team doesn't have one.
So
I'm
what do you
very
need to
jealous.
strengthen in the gym in
A
the
lot of
sport?
upper body, legs, and neck. You don't do the neck at the gym. You can do that at home, but it's a lot because the brake pedals we end up putting usually around 50 bars on the brakes. So your left leg has to be really exceptionally strong, and then shoulders and upper body as well. So the steering wheel can get really heavy because there's no power steering in the car. I'm sure you would have driven a car with no power steering
Back in the day, yes.
back in the day,
I'm that
and
old, yes.
yeah,
Okay.
and all of the load that's on one tire.
Okay.
So there's this. Maybe you guys have heard of this track. It's Algarve in Portugal. It was an F1 track, I think 2021 and before. But there's this really long corner. It's I think like 300 meters of just corner. It's really highly banked.
Well,
When you're turning the steering wheel this way, the load of the car comes this way. So this wheel is taking all of the load, which means it's really heavy, really, really heavy to turn. So I don't. There's not much examples that you can give about this, but if you've ever driven on a driving simulator, like just a simulation of it with a steering wheel, you'll feel how the steering wheel can get harder and softer sometimes.
okay. So talking about the gymming side of things, I mean, you're not even 16 yet. How old are the guys in your team?
Uh, I'm the youngest. I was the youngest last year. Sorry, this year in F4 Championship, 15. The average age is I think around 18.
That's still quite young.
So the average age of my team was 17. I have 17-year-old teammate, 16-year-old teammate, and then one 18-year-old, one 17-year-old.
Okay, so you're fairly
I'm fairly
similar,
young.
but you're
But
still the
then
youngest.
the other teams,
Are there any oldies in the field?
there was someone driving with us who was 24 years
Oh,
old
ancient.
racing. There's drivers who they pull in, so if someone can't make the race, then they'll take other drivers in. Some of them being
All right.
21. I'm by far the youngest,
Okay.
often by 3 years to the drivers who are there all the time. But to the drivers who are pulled in for certain races, they're usually 20, 21, or that age.
Okay. How many laps are there in a race?
About 18.
Okay,
About
it
18.
depends on the track.
It depends on the track.
18. Okay, so it's
18.
quite
It depends.
18 in half an hour.
18 in half an hour.
All right. Okay. And you mentioned G-forces. I'm interested in some of the speeds.
Yep, we can. I think the top speed I've ever driven in my car was 248 kilometers per hour in a straight line.
Okay.
But the G-forces, I don't know so much about the G-forces, except I did my calculation on the braking, which I had said 30 extra kg. But
that's fine. Talk about the speed. Everyone's interested in the speed. So 248 on a straight.
248 on the straight is the maximum.
You break down to like.
Then you can break down the slowest corner on the track about in the calendar is around 40 kilometers per hour.
Wow.
So it's followed right by a chicane, which is a left and then a right, super close. So you're not coming so fast into it. But you can come from around 240 to 40.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so for those who don't know what an F4 car looks like.
So I'll explain that. I'll explain the car. It's a Tatus T-421, which is the chassis of the car. That's the car that we use. It's got an inline four Abarth engine. Abarth is Fiat for you guys, by the way, just the racing version of Fiat.
Okay.
It makes 240 horsepower. The car itself is 570 kilograms. So that's very light.
Yes.
Very light for 240 horsepower.
Okay.
So you can go quite fast, very quick.
You feel acceleration a lot?
You can.
Yeah.
On the race starts, you feel a lot.
All right. Okay, so let's hear some of your racing stories. I know recently, if I'm right, you were in Barcelona.
Yep, I was in Barcelona.
Okay, so maybe we start with that and then go back
I started with Barcelona. It's
your season's just finished, hasn't it?
My season is just finished. Yes.
Right. Okay, so maybe talk us through the season. Some of the highlights.
Right, my highlights. So it was my first year ever driving a car. So there was a lot of learning in the beginning of the season, finishing not very close to the front or even the mid pack at that. But I wasn't last. I wasn't last at least. So out of 35 drivers, finishing around P28, P27, not too bad as a rookie driver. The very, very first time I was in the car. And then my best finish was P10 twice. which was points for the team.
That was Valencia?
This was Jerez,
Where
or
is that?
Jerez. It's
Okay.
it's in Spain.
Yeah, somewhere in
It's
Spain. Okay.
somewhere in Spain.
Okay.
Somewhere in Spain, which it only counted as 1 point because the other one I'd finished P10, P11 on track, had gotten the point for penalty. Someone else got a penalty, so I moved up,
Okay.
and then it was given back. So they had reversed the decision after a bunch of arguments with the organization and the driver, or the team.
Okay. So the top 10
So-
get points. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
So it ended up someone got scot-free with, you know, only crashing out 5 drivers, but
All right.
That had been probably the highest. But the last race in Barcelona was a really good one. We had done a lot. We had done a lot of racing, so really overtakes, defensive maneuvers, all that kind of stuff. That I'd done really well there.
Okay.
But yeah, we were quite slow in qualifying because for the first time in Spanish motorsport history, the qualifying timing system had gone down. So I'm not sure how long Spanish motorsports has been going.
This is the first time.
First time in its history.
Wow.
I was lucky to be part of that session because however many sessions have taken place, I was the one that was in that one. And that meant that we used the timings from the session before. So qualifying didn't go ahead. So we used the session before, which our team was not trying to drive fast. We were trying to go long.
Okay.
So do a race instead of qualifying.
So you started way back in what position?
P28.
Okay.
So
you started in P28 all 3 races?
No, P28, P26,
Okay.
and then P27, which isn't incredible. But P28, I finished P14, which was not bad, 4 places away from points starting P28. Had we have not had the issues with qualifying, which didn't end up happening, then I would have started around P19, which is good. That was where our pace was. So that would have been really good. Then I probably would have finished in the points again. Then the second race was a bad race. I had a bit of an incident at the beginning, and from P28 went to P24 or P26, I believe. Not much of an improvement. But then in the last race of the season means everyone's going crazy.
Yeah.
So you can strategically not go crazy, which we had done. Our team had decided that we're going to lay back on the first few laps, let everything around us happen, and obviously if there's chances to make overtakes and stuff, to do that. So on lap 1 of the last race of the season, I'd made 3 overtakes myself, and 7 drivers in front had crashed.
Oh, that's
so
nice.
individual
not for them,
crashes,
but-
individual crashes or whatever. So I ended up getting 7 free places, and 3 I'd taken for myself, which that's 10 places in one lap, P28 to P18, where then I finished the race P16 after just doing some more overtakes.
Nice. Good job.
Not bad. Not a bad race.
So looking ahead, if your season's finished now, what does it look like between now and when you start again?
Well, usually we can be doing practice, which is like 2 days of racing. The 1 hour session stuff, we usually get around 3 to 4 sessions in a day. So
But this is all in
8
Spain,
hours.
yes?
This is all in Spain.
Okay.
So it's the Spanish F4, which means that it's Spain located. There's 2 outside. So there was Paul Ricard this year in France and Algarve in Portugal, which is really nice. They're both very nice tracks, but most of it's in Spain. So when I'm doing practice, it's usually in Spain.
And what's the next step for you then?
The next step for me would be probably we're going to look to redo the Spanish F4 because I know all of the tracks.
Okay.
I know all of the people. We know the team. It's also we use Hankook tires, not Pirelli. So Hankook tires have got less grip and less lateral load, which some Pirelli users with more grip will come to our cars and just be really slow because they cannot drive them. It's like driving a sports car opposed to an SUV. There's a big difference, but that's what I've been described from other drivers. I haven't driven Pirelli myself because why practice on something that you're not going to do? So.
All right. I'm sure there's a lot of logic
There's a lot.
somewhere.
But yeah. Next.
So next year you'll redo F4
Likely.
and then likely. Okay. And then see what happens basically.
Yep. It's likely going to be the same as this year. We ended up finishing 2025 with around 80% of the costs covered by sponsors. which you guys can do your own research on how much that would cost. But that's really, really
That's
a
a lot.
lot by
Wow.
sponsors.
Okay. And right. What is the progression though for someone that does well in F4? Where do you go after that?
So I'll just go through the full progression of motorsports. You start in karting.
Hmm.
If you make a name for yourself in karting, it's easier to move into cars, which usually you can go into. Maybe F4 is the first proper formula. There's Formula Ray, Formula One 6000, Formula Renault, all of these sort of slower than F4, slower cars. But I decided to just jump right in.
Okay.
I think starting in the Spanish F4, which this year was the hardest championship, which
Okay.
last year was Italian, the year before was British. This year was Spanish. I think starting in the hardest obviously makes you a much better driver because you learn from everyone else. So after F4, you can then go F3. You can drive Eurocup, Freca, which is Formula Regional. They're faster than F4, so all the time the cars are getting faster. Then after that, you can try FIA F3, which is FIA F3. It goes along with the F1 weekend,
Okay.
along with F2 and F1. So F2, it's the smaller the number, usually the faster or the better the car is.
Okay. And currently, you feel that you're progressing at
I'm
the
progressing
right
quite well.
trajectory. It's nice to have sponsors, obviously, because it's a rich man's game.
It is in fact a rich man's game. So
Okay.
it's the team was extremely happy with me this year. They say that they want me as their driver next year as well in the main team.
Nice.
So there's two teams. There's DX, which is the team I was racing with this year, and then DriveX. DriveX is the solidified, that's the proper team. But then there's the junior team where they put their rookie drivers because all rookies have to learn. So we have the cars are all equal in F4, which is something that a lot of drivers feel is not true, and it's not. Because there's setups, even though we get the same base car, we still get the same Tatus T421. There's a lot of setups and engine modifications and all that kind of stuff that can go. Now I've done really, really well in the DX team. This is why I was touching up on the DX team. They've had a 3-year history, I believe, which means 3 drivers each year. And I've been the first driver in the team's history of 3 years to score points, which is just finish in the top 10.
Okay.
Which is really nice.
Well, if you're starting P28 or whatever, and you're still coming P16 or P10, I mean, they are obviously going to notice you.
Obviously, they notice.
Yeah.
So I've had some messages from other teams saying, "Hey, we want you to drive our car next year," which is really nice. It's nice to be asked to do something like that. But
you're gonna stay put for now. Yeah.
Yes, for now, I'm gonna stay put.
Okay. Well, okay, we'll end off with a few rapid fire questions.
No worries.
You ready?
Rapid.
All right, first, well, it doesn't have to be too rapid, but what's your favorite track you've ever driven?
Paul Ricard, which is a very, very, very fast track in France.
In France, okay. Yeah. Okay, nice. Who's your favorite F1 driver of all time?
My friend, Oliver Berman. He's my favorite because he's my friend. But otherwise, the support goes to McLaren and Oscar Piastri, who's another fellow Australian.
Dream F1 team to race for?
Either McLaren or Williams. The only reason it's those teams is because they're the teams who we are in contact with for driver academies. Okay. So Williams F1 has tracked my progress this year. They said that they're going to be watching our performances, and they've even sent us messages saying, "Look, we're really happy when a good race." Saying a bad race, they just don't say anything, which isn't very nice. It's quite ominous. But yeah, a good race, they'll definitely...
It's nice to get those messages.
Yeah,
I'm sure it gives you a huge boost. Yeah.
There's a man, James, who is cousins to Christian Horner, if you guys know that name. He's Red Bull team manager.
Well, he was.
Was.
Okay. I know that much. Okay.
Yes. So...
so one word to describe what it feels like when the lights... I want to say go out. Is it the same as F1?
Lights go out.
The lights go out? Yes. Okay.
5 lights and then out. Thrill. I think thrill is the right word. Just, there's really, like I said before, there's no feeling like it. So,
well, you're doing something you love.
Doing something you love.
You don't think about sort of what can go wrong. You just go.
You don't think about what. I mean, unless it does go wrong.
Okay.
But you don't.
It's reflective.
Yes, you don't think about what goes wrong. Because if you do, the moment that you think about what's wrong, the other guys have gone past you. So you have to be at the limits, at your best all the time. Otherwise, there's no point to drive.
Wow. Okay, Kaiden. Well, we're incredibly proud of you, as I'm
you.
sure your parents are, and cannot wait to see what next season looks like.
Knows.
But for now, I think
For
it's
now.
time to get grade 10 finished, isn't it?
Grade 10 finished. Yeah, a lot of work for grade 10. It's very difficult to juggle schoolwork, but I've learned how to do that in my many years of racing. 6 years motorsport I've done, and all of them have been
You're a
alongside
veteran.
school.
That's 15.
Veteran at 15.
All right, thanks, Kaiden. All the
Thank you
best.
very much.
Right.
Thank you very much.